Today, I'm going to talk about 3 things, or if you're in Europe, 3 things, that you should know about the weather in the villages. One of the things I'm going to talk about is a risk that many people don't think about here in Central Florida. The climate here in the villages, and in Central Florida in general, is one of the reasons people really love to live here. We're far enough inland here that we don't get those huge coastal storms, but we're about an hour away from the beach in each direction, so it's a great location. The winters are beautiful, sunny, mild, and gorgeous. That's when the snowbirds come down from the north, and the villages is at its most populated. While the people up north are shoveling snow, we're down here shoveling golf balls out of sand traps. I grew up in some of the coldest cities on earth, and trust me, it's really nice not to have to shovel your car out of the snow whenever you want to go to the grocery store. Here's the first fact about the weather in the villages. The villages and the rest of Central Florida have a humid subtropical climate and experience a distinct summer wet season. From June to September, we get our wet season. The sky goes dark, the clouds roll in, and then suddenly a deluge. Then, not too long later, it's sunny again. It's kind of like Florida's version of a rinse cycle. The good news is it doesn't last too long, and it means that the air is cooler afterward, the grass stays green, and the sidewalks stay clean. Although, we don't have sidewalks in the neighborhoods here in the villages. The bad news is it's sort of hard to plan pool parties or golf outings during the afternoons when you know that you're pretty much going to get drenched at some point. There's a lot of rain here in Florida, not to mention hurricanes, so flooding is definitely a risk. There's about a 43% chance that homes in 5% of the villages will flood in the next 30 years. Take from that what you may. Here's the second fact about the weather in the villages. The summers here can get hot. I'm talking 90s on most days with sun in the sky and not too many clouds. That's when I like to stay indoors and eat fruity popsicles. It's a little bit of a trade-off. We get the beautiful winters, but the summers can, at times, be a little bit oppressive. Just remember to stay hydrated, slap on some sunscreen, and put a hat on. And a pair of polarized sunglasses. And if you're thinking ahead, schedule your golf outings and your pickleball games during the mornings. By late afternoon, you can be in Lake Sumter Landing eating ice cream, or going for a ride in your golf cart with the cool breeze. Or you can get rained on. That can be pretty refreshing. Here's the third fact about the weather in the villages. We do experience hurricanes, but not as much as coastal cities. Here's the deal. We live in Florida, so if you're here long enough, you're eventually going to get hurricaned. But we're pretty far inland here. The hurricanes start at the coasts with maximum strength, and then start to move inland. As they do, they lose their power. So by the time they get here, they aren't as strong as they could be. Yes, we do get some very windy days here, and a whole lot of rain. We might see some branches fall off the trees. We might even see trees come down. But we don't see the sort of massive destruction that you sometimes see on the coasts. Our spot here in Central Florida gives us a little bit of a safety cushion. Whenever new residents in the villages hear about a pending hurricane, the chat groups on the internet are a Twitter with people worried about their houses and wondering what's going to happen. Meanwhile, those of us who have lived here for a while are mostly concerned with whether or not we're going to have enough hurricane snacks. That said, as I mentioned, at some point you might see some fallen trees, and tornadoes are not out of the question here in Central Florida. So when a hurricane is approaching, you should take it very seriously, even though we are relatively far inland. So here's the risk I mentioned at the beginning of the video: sinkholes. Central Florida is built on a geology of porous limestone, which absorbs water. When there is a lot of rain, or when the weather is very dry, there is a risk for sinkholes. I haven't seen one myself, but you should definitely be aware that there is a risk. So to wrap it up, the weather here in the villages is perfect, except for the extremely hot summers, and the daily rain, and the occasional hurricane, and I guess the tornadoes and the sinkholes. Well, it's almost perfect. At least it doesn't rain alligators. If you'd like to learn more about what's happening in the villages, please subscribe, because that's what I'm here for. If you're curious about the villages, I'm here with answers, advice, or even just a conversation about America's friendliest hometown. And if you're interested in moving to or within the villages, please let me know. I'm a licensed Florida real estate agent, and I work with a team of experts here in the villages, so please reach out because we're here to help. Stay dry, and thanks for watching.